Picture a Europe where the deep, dark forest was not cleared, but became the foundation. A continent where cities grow vertically, entwined with ancient woods, and where the fastest trains in the world run not between glass towers, but beneath cathedral canopies of oak and ash. This is not fantasy. This is a branch of history that could have been. A branch that grew from a single, fragile moment of unity, and one man's desperate gamble in the hills of Gaul. What if the tribes held? What if Vercingetorix did not surrender? What if Rome's northern frontier became, not a line on a map, but an unbreakable wall of roots and iron? The year is 52 BC here at Alesia. The fate of Western Europe hangs in a precarious balance. Inside the fortress, Vercingetorix, the young Arvernian king, holds the fragile soul of a rebellion. For the first time, dozens of famously fractious Celtic tribes are united under a single banner his. Outside, the cold, systematic genius of Julius Caesar and his legions represents a different kind of power. Imperial, centralized, relentless. Rome does not just defeat armies. It dismantles cultures, replaces gods with forums, and turns forests into farmland. Alesia is the anvil. Upon it, two visions of civilization are being hammered. In our history, the Gallic relief force attacks in a desperate, uncoordinated series of assaults. They fail. Starved and out of options, Vercingetorix walks out of the gates, lays his arms at Caesar's feet, and is hauled to Rome for execution. Gaul becomes a Roman province. Its druidic traditions are suppressed, its oral history silenced. The Celtic West is paved over. But what if the hammer stroke landed differently? Let us twist the thread. Let us imagine the messengers got through. That old tribal rivalries were, for this one critical day, set aside. The Gallic relief force strikes not as separate clans, but as one fist. Imagine a breach in the Roman lines. A legion isolated and overwhelmed. And from within Alesia, Vercingetorix leads his starving but furious men in a final all-or-nothing charge. Caesar's perfect system fractures. The siege is broken. The consequence is not the conquest of Rome, but its profound containment. A humiliated Caesar retreats. The myth of Roman invincibility north of the Alps is shattered. In the decades that follow, the Confederation of the Free Peoples is born. It is not an empire. It has no emperor. It is a resilient, decentralized web, bound by oath, trade, and the profound authority of the druidic order. The Roman war machine, when it returns, finds not a single head to cut off, but a hydra whose roots are buried deep in every hill and forest. The long-term effects are profound, flowering from the seeds of Celtic culture that were never uprooted. First, culture and memory. The druidic oral tradition, a vast library of history, law, science, and philosophy carried in living minds, remains the bedrock of society. This isn't primitive. It's a different kind of advanced. Knowledge is relational, ecological, passed down through rigorous mnemonic training. When writing is adopted, it's for ceremony, not bureaucracy. This culture values the dynamic story over the static edict. Second, technology and craft. The Celtic genius was never for vast infrastructure, but for exquisite, portable artistry and metallurgy. Without Roman roads, travel follows riverways and forest paths. But this culture's warrior elite craves the finest arms and armor. This drives innovation in metallurgy and mechanics, but on a bespoke, local scale. You don't get aqueducts. You get self-cleaning, ornate water temples. You don't get standardized gladi. You get masterwork blades, each a unique expression of its maker's clan. The Industrial Revolution, when it comes, is decentralized, green, and aesthetically driven. Third, geopolitics. The Roman Empire endures, but as a powerful Mediterranean-focused state. The Rhine and the Alps become a permanent, cultural iron curtain. Northern Europe is a kaleidoscope of Celtic, Germanic, and Baltic peoples, constantly allying and competing, with the Druids acting as neutral arbiters. Without a Roman Britain, the Anglo-Saxon migration never happens. The Norse world interacts deeply with the Confederation, trading, raiding, and merging. The New World, when discovered, is not colonized by monolithic crowns, but explored by rival trading leagues and spiritual quests. So, what does the 21st century look like in the world of the Iron Forest? The map is a federation of over 100 cantons and free cities, united in a Comtale non-Down Sour, a Congress of Free Peoples. It's a direct, digital democratic evolution of the ancient assembly. Politics is messy, loud, and local. Environmental law is sacrosanct, rooted in druidic stewardship. Global tech giants aren't here. Instead, you have artisan guilds that have evolved into boutique tech firms, famous for their unhackable, bio-integrated hardware and stunning design. Social media is less about the individual and more about community storytelling and augmented reality ritual. Daily life balances cutting-edge, sustainable tech with deep, cyclical ritual. Your identity is tied to your local bioregion and your craft. You might commute by Hyperloop to a neighboring canton for work, but return home for a festival honoring the local river spirit. The story of the Celtic Confederation is not a tale of a better world, but of a different one. It asks a fundamental question. Is civilization about centralizing power and standardizing truth? Or is it about weaving diverse threads into a resilient, adaptable tapestry? Our world was built by Rome's relentless order, its codified laws, its straight roads that paved over the winding paths. The Iron Forest is built on memory, obligation, and a sacred contract with the land. It shows us that our history was not inevitable. It was a series of choices, chances, and breaks in a siege line. So we are left to wonder, what is lost when a forest is felled? And what might have grown had we learned to build among the trees? What do you think? Is the clarity of written law worth the loss of the living story? Could a decentralized world ever withstand the pressures of a globalized planet? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey into the Iron Forest, please subscribe to Uchronia Labs. Hit the bell so you don't miss our next experiment. And in the comments, vote on our next divergence point. What if the Library of Alexandria never burned? Or what if the Ming Dynasty colonized the Americas? Until next time, keep questioning the paths not taken.